now be an opportunity for silent prayer or meditation. Please be seated. Does any member wish to give a notice of a motion? A notice of a motion. Not a motion without a notice. Honorable Oskachen, I'm talking about a notice of a motion. Okay? Thank you, thank you. Honorable Mpambo Spuwana. Can we assist Honorable Mpambo Spuwana that side with the mic? It's fine now, Mom.
Thank you, Chairperson. On behalf of the Democratic Alliance, I hereby wish to move with notice that this House debates the corruption exposed by the former public protector advocate Thuli Madonsela in the state capture report. I so move. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. Honorable Khai.
Thank you, Honorable House Chair. On behalf of the African National Congress, I hereby give notice that in the next sitting of the Council, I shall move that the Council, one, notes the debates, the research conducted by the Institution for Race Relations and compiled in a report entitled Life in South Africa, Reasons for Hope, which emphatically states that our people are better off than they were before 1994. And further notes that the research report further states that the real GDP per capita increased from 42,386 in 1994 to 56,343 in 2015. And that the number of people living in formal housing increased by 131 between 1996 and 2016. And that the delivery of basic services has increased at an unprecedented faster rate than ever before. I so move.
Thank you. Honorable Makwebo.
Thank you, House Chair. On behalf of the Democratic Alliance, I hereby wish to move a notice of motion that this House notes that according to a recent Daily Dispatch newspaper report, the Eastern Cape Department of Health is the most sued department in the country, with up to 96% of claims emanating from Tata region. Millions have been paid by the Department of Health in the Eastern Cape in legal fees and negligence claims during the previous financial year. The Eastern Cape Department of Health, the head of the department has recently admitted to SCOPA in the provincial legislature that they are battling with rising legal claims for medical negligence, and that these claims have escalated over the years, particularly around cases related to obstetrics and gynecology. As legislators, we have a constitutional duty to provide effective oversight and ensure that citizens receive quality health care. This House debates the rising legal claims against the Eastern Cape Department of Health. I so move.
Thank you. Honorable Nita. Oh, without, okay, thank you. Honorable Tape Branch.
Thank you, Chairperson. On behalf of the Democratic Alliance, I hereby wish to move with notice that this House debates the danger of South Africa's rising national debt levels and steps to address this. I so move. Thank you.
Thank you. Does any member wish to move a motion without notice? Honorable Mikalakis.
Thank you, Honorable House Chairperson. On behalf of the Democratic Alliance, I hereby wish to move without notice that Council notes that the Select Committee on Security and Justice has invited the Minister of Defence and Military Veterans to meet with the committee On the 30th of July 2014, the Minister did not attend. The 4th of November 2015, she did not attend. The 17th of February 2016, she did not attend. The 13th of April 2016, she did not attend. Several dates in May, she did not attend. The 8th of November 2016, and the Minister did not attend. That the House notes that Minister Mapisa Nkakula has in this fifth Parliament not once appeared before the NCOP when she was invited, not even for budget briefings. That the House requests an apology from the Minister for the blatant contempt of the authority of this House and her constitutional obligation to account to Parliament. And finally, that the House requests the Chairperson to address this matter with the Leader of Government Business. I so move.
Is there any objection to the motion? In light of the objection, the motion may not be proceeded with. The motion without notice will now become notice of a motion. Honorable Mlambo.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I hereby move without notice that the Council knows with utmost concern and apprehension the leaking of audio records of an interview done with the President of the Republic as part of her investigation on the complaints of state capture. Further notes that the recordings of the interview were leaked to the NCA, which later published and broadcast it. Acknowledges that the leaking of the audio recordings of the interview is a gross violation of Public Protector Act and every aspect of a professional public service, and calls on the Public Protector to investigate the leaking of the audio recordings of the interview of the President with utmost agency and ensure that those responsible are made to account and that this practice is put to an end because it undermines the importance of constitutional work of the Office of the Public Protector. I so move.
Is there any objection to the motion? The motion is agreed to in terms of Section 65 of the Constitution. Honorable Nita.
Thank you, Chair. I hereby move without notice that the Council notes with profound appreciation that last Sunday, the University of Cape Town executive, student representative, and council candidates and other students formation signed an agreement on the deal with issues surrounding the protests that transpired to the closure of the institution. Further notes that agreement details how the fallout from protests that happened earlier this year will be dealt with, and that the parties also resolve on the establishment of the Institution Reconciliation and Transformation Commission, which would also be expected to make recommendations to issues, including institutional culture, transformation, decolonization, discrimination, identity, and disability, and therefore takes the opportunity to call all the institutions to amicably resolve their internal issues and commence with the example of the UCT community on their move. I so move.
Thank you. Is there any objection to the motion? The motion is agreed to in terms of Section 65 of the Constitution. Honorable Timbi.
Thank you, Chairperson. On behalf of the ANC, I hereby move without notice that the Council notes with utmost concern the escalating of violence crimes within our community. Further notes the continuous attempts of some political parties to politicize the issue of crime, resulting in an unwanted and misguided attack on the men and women who continue to work their finger to the bone and risk their lives, ride our community of criminals. Further notes that the politicization of crime has resulted in low morale in the security apparatus, who's committed to serve the nation is questioned and attacked without fair consideration of daily gangers and viciousness that they continue to face from criminals who show no regard to the human life safety of our community. Calls on political parties to join the national fight against crime and desist from politicizing crime and waging unwarranted attack on the security sector, and takes this opportunity to express in profound support to the security cluster and the men and women who continue to risk their lives for the safety of our people. I so moved, Chairperson.
Thank you, order members. Is there any objection to the motion? The motion is agreed to in terms of section 65 of the Constitution. Honorable Mpambo Puana.
Thank you, Chairperson. On behalf of the Democratic Alliance, I hereby move without notice that this House knows the sudden death of the University of Johannesburg student Kevin Baloyi, killed by an alleged private security after attending an end-of-year celebration with friends. This House calls for the aforesaid armed individual to be investigated and that the Africa Housing Company responsible for this death is called before the Select Committee to account for this incident. That this House conveys our sincere condolences to the bereaved family and saying, may her soul rest in peace where no shadows fall. I so move.
Thank you. Is there any objection to the motion? Is there any objection to the motion? In light of the objection, the motion may not be proceeded with. The motion without notice will now become notice of a motion. Honorable De Pierre.
Honorable Chairperson, I hereby move without notice that the Council notes with profound sadness the death of the first black runner to obtain his comrade's green number for finishing 10 comrades, the Howick-born Simon Mkhize, who passed away on Friday, the 14th of October, at the age of 74. Further notes that with 20 successful comrades finishes, Simon accumulated 12 bronze and 8 silver medals, achieving his best time of 6 hours, 40 minutes in 1971. Further notes that as one of 9 children, with 5 sisters and 3 brothers, he was a pioneer and a leader who inspired many young people to take up sports, and take this opportunity to applaud his role in sports. Condolences to the family and his friends. May his soul rest in eternal peace. I so move, Chair.
Thank you. Is there any objection to the motion? Is there any objection to the motion? Order members, is there any objection to the motion? The motion is agreed to in terms of section 65 of the Constitution. Honorable Mtimunye.
Thank you, Honorable House Chair. I hereby move without notice that Council notes with utmost concern the racist remarks made by the leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, Honorable Julius Malema, after he appeared in the Newcastle Magistrate Court on charges of contravening the Russia's Assemblies Act of 1956 for calling on people to occupy vacant land around the country. Further notes that the EFF leader said the EFF was not calling for the slaughtering of whites, at least for now. Takes this opportunity to condemn in the harshest possible terms such reckless, bigoted remarks as nothing but a gross violation of the fundamental pillars of our Constitution, which clearly stipulates that South Africa belongs to all those who live in it, united in our diversity. Calls on the Ethics Committee to investigate the reckless and bigoted remarks made by the leader of the EFF, and I so move, Honorable House. Thank you. Is there any objection to the motion? In light of the objection, the motion may not be proceeded with.
The motion without notice will now become notice of a motion. Honorable Dlamini.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. On behalf of the African National Congress, I hereby move without notice that Council notes the escalating violence accompanying the Fees Must Fall campaign, which has already taken the lives of 2 students, although in separate incidents, reaffirms the unquestionable rights of students to raise their demands, including on free higher education, as protected under the Constitution. However, condemn the acts of violence and vandalism of property in strongest terms, and take this opportunity to call all students, leaders, the university management, and the Department of Higher Education to find and reach an amicable ceasefire that will enable those students who are ready to write their final examination this year, and that find ways to ensure that they find a suitable date for those students who want to write examination in 2017 as part of a workable approach to save the 2016 academic year. I so move.
Thank you. Is there any objection to the motion? The motion is agreed to in terms of Section 65 of the Constitution. Are there any further motions without notice? Or it's only Honorable Keila?
Thank you. I move on behalf of the United Democratic Movement that this House knows that hopes about a 27-year-old PhD second-year student in mathematics at the Northwest University Mafeking campus won top honors at the 59th South African Mathematical Society, which took place in Cape Town from the 2nd to the 4th of November. Further notes that he won in the best presentation category, having presented his PhD thesis in the field of mathematics called topology. Recognizes that South African Mathematical Society was founded in 1957 with the objective of advancing mathematics in the country. Congratulate Obsebau for his tremendous achievement. I thank you.
Thank you. Is there any objection to the motion? The motion is agreed to in terms of Section 65 of the Constitution. The Secretary will read the first and second orders of the day.
Consideration of report of Select Committee on Finance, agreement between the Government of the Republic of South Africa and the Government of the Republic of Singapore for the avoidance of double taxation and prevention of fiscal evasion with respect to taxes on income with explanatory memorandum. Agreement between the Government of the Republic of South Africa and the Government of the United Arab Emirates for the avoidance of double taxation and prevention of fiscal evasion with respect to taxes on income with explanatory memorandum.
Honorable De Pierre.
Honorable Chairperson, the double taxation agreements between the Government of the Republic of South Africa, the Government of the Republic of Singapore, and the Government of United Arab Emirates seek to remove barriers to cross-border trade. Pardon. These agreements prevent double taxation of the same income, create fiscal stability, facilitate exchange of information, and prevent tax avoidance and tax evasion. The South African government initiated a new treaty with the Emirates to advance economic relations between the two countries. There is evident growing presence of South African companies doing business in the Emirates, ranging from hospitality to construction and engineering industries. Furthermore, the Emirates has become a significant source of investment and home to a sizable number of South Africans. The Emirates is currently the 24th largest investor in South Africa, while South Africa is ranked 19th largest investor in the Emirates. The treaty signed between the government of South Africa and Singapore in December 1997 was based on a taxation system that excluded capital gains. It has become imperative for South Africa to renegotiate the treaty to address the weaknesses of the old tax system, including dual residence structures and exchange of information. The new agreement had been signed by both parties on the 23rd of November 2015, pending approval by Parliament. South Africa has increasingly become integrated in the global community, and to remain competitive and relevant, it must subscribe to the latest international models that modernize tax treaties. South Africa has been an active member of the international community and party to many bilateral and multilateral agreements since 1994. The bilateral agreements between the governments of South Africa and the Emirates and Singapore closely follow the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development and the United Nations Model Conventions, which form the foundation for the vast majority of double taxation agreements worldwide. Signing these agreements would ensure that South Africa's approach become consistent with the provisions and articles in agreements of our bilateral counterparts, the Emirates and Singapore. The Select Committee on Finance, having considered the request for the approval by Parliament of the agreement between the Government of the Republic of South Africa and the Government of the United Arab Emirates and the Republic of Singapore for the avoidance of double taxation and prevention of fiscal evasion with respect to taxes on income, tabled in terms of Section 231, subsection 2 of this Constitution, 1996, approved the said agreement. Chairperson, I table this report requesting the House to rectify these agreements. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes the debate. I shall put the question in respect of the first order. The question is that the report be agreed to. In accordance with Rule 7.1, I shall first allow provinces the opportunity to make their declaration of vote if they so wish. We shall now proceed to voting on the question. I shall do it in an alphabetical order per province. I now call upon the provinces: Eastern Cape,
Eastern Cape support.
Free State,
Free State, Amohela, Chairperson.
Gauteng,
Gauteng supports, Chairperson.
KwaZulu-Natal,
KwaZulu-Natal support, Chair.
Limpopo,
Limpopo, Yaitecha.
Mpumalanga,
Mpumalanga agrees, Chair.
Northern Cape,
Northern Cape agrees.
Northwest,
We accept, Chair.
Western Cape.
Western Cape agrees.
9 provinces voted in favor. I therefore declare the report agreed to in terms of Section 65 of the Constitution. I shall now put the question in respect of the second order. The question is that the report be agreed to. I shall allow the provinces the opportunity to make the declaration of vote if they so wish. We shall now proceed to the voting on the question. I shall do it in an alphabetical order per province. Eastern Cape,
Eastern Cape support, Chair.
Free State,
Free State support, Chair.
Gauteng,
Gauteng supports.
KwaZulu-Natal,
KwaZulu-Natal, Yayeseka.
Limpopo,
Limpopo, Yaitecha.
Mpumalanga,
Mpumalanga agrees.
Northern Cape,
Northern Cape agrees.
Northwest,
Accept, Chair.
Western Cape.
Chona Colony Iyaixhasa.
Thank you. 9 provinces voted in favor. I therefore declare the report as agreed to in terms of Section 65 of the Constitution. Order. The Secretary will read the third order of the day.
Consideration of report of Select Committee on Petitions and Executive Undertakings, hearing of the Chiawelo Extension Petition held on 11th of November 2015 and at Premier Hotel OR Tambo International Airport on the 14th of April 2016.
Honorable Tobejane.
Ke a leboga motlotlegi. Chair, maybe I must take this opportunity to congratulate Honorable Gaila for, celebrating his birthday today. Mhlegas. And then Ntate Mohai too. Ntate Mohai, it's also celebrating his, day today. Thank you very much. Chair, the Chiawelo Extension 5 petition, it's one of the committee's inherited legacy from the previous parliament, which is the fourth parliament. It has been submitted to Parliament in 2009, House Chairperson, in which the committee was then given an opportunity to deal with it immediately we resume office. And we held, hearings in this Parliament on the 11th of November and so as the 4th respectively of April. Chair, in the hearing, we were of course responding to the petition that was sent to Parliament by Ms. Tipele, who was leading a petition on behalf of other 90s residents of Chiawelo Extension 5 township situated in Soweto, Gauteng, South Africa. In the petition, the petitioner complains about an unbearable and unacceptable noise level generated during the service of the church. And of course, all of them, they were alleging that the noise have reached a level where they can't do their private work. All of them, when they started the trumpet of the church, they have to be in the church whether you like it or not. So I guess many of you, even if you were not part of the religion, you would have been forced to follow that religion because the voice in that residence was either then or there. You had to go through. And the committee had the evidence from the petitioner, from the Johannesburg municipal metro. In that regard, the Metro Police, the Environmental Management Committee of the municipality, and the council itself, represented by the mayoral committee member. We realized in that indeed the Unity Fellowship Church, it's violating the right of other citizens who are not part of the church. The manner in which the level of noise that was also tested by the environmental and the people with knowledge proved to say it is not supposed to be in the residential area residing with the citizen. And to the best of the understanding of the committee, we were under the impression that the church by nature, its objective is to create peace and stability in wherever it is. But we were a bit disappointed to realize that the church was then tried to listen to the resident, but all in vain without any will to address the issue. Again, we were then, when the church present indicated to us that they realized that the municipality was also a cause of challenge because they wanted to move out of the residential area to the new demarcated zoning area, which was never been shown to be finalized by the municipality. They are waiting anxiously from what they reported to us that they would want to move to the new site that will be allocated to them. The matter has been, taken from one office to another, the courts and everybody, and the committee came to the conclusion that the following recommendation should be considered by this august House chairperson, that the legal processes underway be allowed to unfold and reach their logical conclusion. 2, the City of Johannesburg be provided with the committee reports on the progress made in, the City of Johannesburg to provide the committee on the progress made in relation to the legal processes underway, as well as relation to the rezoning application by the church upon adoption of the report by this House. 3, the City of Johannesburg to continue with the engagement which are aimed at reaching an amicable settlement to the issue raised in the petition outside the legal processes. The City of Johannesburg is to ensure the following in relation to engagement referred to above. 3.1, the engagement are premised in a clear development in terms of reference which outline, among other things, what informed the engagement and the binding issues during the engagement. 3.2, that the engagement are facilitated by the mediator, preferably a body such as a commission for the promotion and protection of the rights of culture, religious and linguistic communities. 3.3, the engagements are to also include the petitioners and not just the church, political structure and the management of the City of Johannesburg. And finally, Chair, that the engagements are to be conducted in a conducive environment and an environment that will be acceptable and bring peace and stability in that area. We are saying so, Chair, because when the committee undertook an inspection in Logo, there were some element of attempt to hold members, hostage. The church closed every exit to move out of the church, but I'm not sure whether it was by the will of God or the will of the Creator. You can choose which one you want, but the Creator makes us to, proceed with the work. Therefore, we are saying, in that context, Chair, we appeal that the temper should go down and we allowed to find the solution for the people of Chiawelo Extension 5. Thank you very much. We move for the adoption of this report.
Thank you, Honorable Tobechane. That concludes the debate. I shall now put the question. The question is that the report be agreed to in accordance with Rule 7.1. I shall first allow provinces the opportunity to make declarations of vote if they so wish. We shall now proceed to voting on the question. I shall do it in alphabetical order per province. Eastern Cape.
Eastern Cape support, Chair.
Free State.
Free State, Chairperson.
Gauteng.
Gauteng agrees to the report.
KwaZulu Natal.
KwaZulu Natal agrees.
Limpopo.
Limpopo ya idumela.
Mpumalanga.
Mpumalanga agrees.
Northern Cape.
Northern Cape agrees.
Northwest.
We agree, Chair.
Western Cape.
Weskaap stem saam.
9 provinces voted in favor. I therefore declare the report as agreed to in terms of Section 65 of the Constitution. The Secretary will read the fourth order of the day.
Consideration of preliminary report of Select Committee on Petitions and Executive Undertakings. Hearing of the Embrace Dignity petition held at Parliament on the 2nd of March 2016.
Honorable Tobechane, the chairperson of the Select Committee on Petitions and Executive Undertakings.
Yeah, otherwise now we resort to technology. Oh.
No, we have
Okay, sorry, Honorable Tobejane. Honorable Mhlanga, why are you standing?
No, Chair, I wanted to find out whether is it permissible for a member to move in front of the presiding officer while there is a member in the station.
I can, no, let me deal with it. No, let me deal with it. Honorable Isaac was assisting Honorable Tobejane. So in that regard, then we can forgive him. Honorable Tobejane, continue.
Thank you, Chairperson. Ntate Mohai, really congratulate le so ona mo ge le fetsa mengwaga le sepela thata ngwanaka. And congratulations. Thanks, Chairperson. This report, Chair, it's about the Embrace Dignity Petition, which was received by the Office of the Chairperson of the National Council of Province on the 10th of December 2014 and referred to the Committee on Petition and Executive Undertakings on the 24th April 2015. The petition is submitted by the Embrace Dignity, a non-profit organization which advocates for legal reform to end prostitute and sex trafficking. Embrace Dignity further advocate for the provision of adequate support service to women seeking exit from prostitution, Chairperson. In the petition submitted to the NCOB, Embrace Dignity contend that notwithstanding the enactment of progressive legislation, policies, and the ratification of international agreement on gender equality and violence against women, South Africa still lags behind in the implementation of these pieces of legislation, policies, and international agreements. In the petition, Embrace Dignity further contended that there is a general lack of understanding of the harms of prostitution and its links to sex trafficking. It further asserts
Honorable Tobejane, you are protected.
Thank you, Chairperson. It further asserts that, contrary to the popular belief, prostitute is not always a free choice and affect mainly women and girls who find themselves in a dire socio-economic circumstances. As regards the relief sought, Embrace Dignity provides that it seeks the intervention of the Parliament in establishing a multi-party committee to be constituted by both houses of Parliament to investigate the following, Chairperson. A, the situation of women and men in prostitution. B, the factors which determine the demands for prostitution. C, the factors which provide and support the demands. And D, the factors that perpetuate and facilitate the trafficking of women and girls. Lastly, Chair, the petition requested the committee to investigate the legal opinions identified by the South African Law Reform Commission and make recommendation for the legislation that will do the following. Reduce and ultimately eliminate oppression in the form of prostitution, address the demands for prostitution, and implement and resource programs to support the exit and full social
Honorable
traffic.
Tobejane, sorry. Honorable Isaac, why are you standing?
Person, I just wanted to check with you, did the speaker say address the demands of prostitution? Is that what he said? I'm just checking.
Honorable Isaac, order members, honorable members, I'm appealing to all of you to be very attentive. You can't ask me to assist you.
During the hearing, on the petition which was held on the 2nd March 2016 at Parliament, the committee listened to the submission from a number of implicated stakeholders, including petitioner, the Commissioner for Gender and Equality, and the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. In its submission, the petitioner informed the committee that it had submitted the petition to the NCOP in the hopes that the oppression of the women and girls through prostitution, sex exploitation, and sexual abuse would receive the urgent and necessary attention that it warranted. Further, in its submission, the petitioners requested Parliament to establish a joint committee from both houses. Also of particular significance, the petitioner informed the committee that the South African law reforms had submitted a report to the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development in relation to the issue of prostitution and sex trafficking, but the minister had yet to release the publicized report. In its extensive submission, the Commission for Gender and Equality informed the committee that it received numerous complaints from sex workers in relation to the manner in which they are treated by members of the South African police. And lastly, the Commission submitted that, unlike Embrace Dignity, it is of the view that South African Law Commission report included an investigation into available legal options that requires the Embrace Dignity for such an investigation will constitute a duplication of the work already done by South African law reform. It further indicated that it supports the global call for the decriminalization of sex workers and emphasized that this call had also been made by the international organizations such as UNAID. Chair, after a lengthy deliberation on the submission, the committee came to the following recommendations. 1, the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development accelerate the publication of the South African Law Reform Commission report. 2, the committee support the call for the establishment of joint committee to investigate inter alia the factors enabling forced prostitution, such as social and economic factors, to the extent to which the South African Police Services and other government departments had been implementing the relevant legislation, and the support measure in place for the persons who wish to exit forced prostitution. 3, the Commission for Gender Equality to share its finding, advice, and recommendation on the investigation it intends conducting on the complaints it has received from sex workers with the committee. 4, the committee to embark on a study tour which in its sister committee, that is the Select Committee on Security, Constitutional Development, and Intergovernmental Relation, including the women, to Netherlands and Switzerland, aim at assisting the committee to better understand the model and methodology adopted in the selected countries as a response to some of the issues raised in the petition, particularly the issue of decriminalization and law reform. Finally, Chair, the committee to finalize the report on the petition after undertaking the study tour referred to gain a better understanding of those countries that are practicing this without any challenges. We so wish, Chair, that the report be adopted. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That concludes the debate. I shall now put the question. The question is that the report be agreed to in accordance with Rule 7.1, I shall first allow provinces the opportunity to make their declaration of vote if they so wish. We shall now proceed to voting on the question. I shall do it in alphabetical order per province. Eastern Cape,
Eastern Cape fully supports, Chair.
Free State,
Free State support, Chair.
Gauteng,
Gauteng supports.
KwaZulu Natal,
KwaZulu Natal supports.
Limpopo,
Limpopo re amogela pego modulasetulo.
Mpumalanga,
Mpumalanga agrees.
Northern Cape,
Northern Cape agrees.
Northwest,
We agree, Chair.
Western Cape.
Western Cape agrees.
9 provinces voted in favor. I therefore declare the report as agreed to in terms of Section 65 of the Constitution. Honorable Isaac, very excited. Honorable members, order. Order members. On behalf of the chairperson and the chief whip, I'd like to take this opportunity to officially wish Honorable Keila and Honorable Mohai happy birthday and many more happy years. I've received a note that I received the note that Honorable Ngita and Honorable Shodu as provincial whips will be guiding you outside how they are sorting the issue of the cakes because they are leading the delegations of those provinces. That concludes the business of the day. Honorable members, you are requested to remain standing until the procession has left the house. The house is adjourned. Thank you.